depends on the T side.
It's pretty much riding on the first 15 rounds.
Yeah, I reckon CeX are going to have... Do you know what? I reckon the CeX T side might even be that bad because you can actually get away with not having the best AWP on your T side train. Play fast out T main. You know, have the plays towards B, even Ivy. I mean, an AWP's good towards Ivy for holding that angle, but if you flash and smoke it and play properly, you don't even need the AWP.
Yeah, it's just almost a bit of a missing link that you just never really know until it's not there, right? Either way, going to be the knife round. We talked well and truly about the T side. And, well, CT side, that's something. London Lynx, is that going to be where they can potentially flourish in terms of some team play?
I didn't catch what you said there. What was that?
London Lynx, CT side, can they flourish in terms of team play?
Do you know what I reckon it is? I reckon, yes, CT side. I mean, the thing is, generally speaking, mixers and so forth, when you haven't got the best team play, CT side is what you want because it's more individualistic. You play your sites by yourself or with one other person. You don't have to gang up as a four and play the trades, play the flashbangs and whatnot. T side is very, very different. I feel like London Lynx, they've picked this map, they've got stuff prepared. They're going to have set execute smokes out towards in the outside area, have maybe some executes. You can execute B to some degree, have a smoke lower, flash through, flashes towards connect. You can actually molly between trains, smoke between trains. Molly, heaven, peek towards the back of sights, you know, expose yourself to the AWP. There's many things you can do, but enough filling. Hopefully we can find against the pistol.
Well, you stress quite a lot the T side. We talked about whether London Lynx would be able to get something done on their CT side. Well, everything we just said, almost a bit moot, as that's going to be towards the second half, as for now it's been a bit of a role reversal. London Lynx are going to be on the T side. We're getting already a little bit into this one.
That's not a good start.
That smoke is, well, suffice to say, I've not seen that before. I'm not really quite sure what the game plan was. Certainly a bit of a miss in itself, but nonetheless, it is going to be a push forming up over towards this B side. It's where we're going to begin. In fact, as Rezu not quite able to connect the shots, not quite able to succeed at his job as the bomb is going to be going down. No response just yet coming in from CeX. Damage has been inflicted. Rezu ever so close, but Isaac's still going to be there to hold the angle with his block.
Rezu finds him, but anyway, it's going to be Liam S and Thomas to find frags, but Snakey gets 2 headshots there from sight, and that was Thomas. He finds the frag on the rotate. The problem is now they know where he is. Trouble and Snakey. Not really too much they can do here apart from play for one another. Trouble right now, he just needs to hide. I mean, play for the bomb. Have this player Snakey playing aggressive. He finds a 3rd frag for him that round. And on the site there.
I actually kind of like what they did there, because if you notice, now, yeah, you would have to particularly look at where each player was standing.
Yeah,
they were bobbing and weaving out of cover.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You got to expect Thomas. He doesn't have the kit. I mean, maybe well, he didn't. That's for sure because Liam S died for the back. I mean, the T's they don't know that. Obviously, with perfect vision, it's a lot easier for me to say that. But the thing is, though, Trouble did have the Molotov. He bought it for that exact reason. Yeah. That's why I was saying to hide. But obviously, the double peek did work out for them, as Thomas was so muddled up at who to shoot at. But anyway,
decisions are hard work, you know.
Very hard work. Casting's hard work as well, apparently.
Apparently. Yeah, I got to see already the first push roll, and Thomas is going to get tagged down to just a mere 22 HP, and
he's tagged down to a mere 22 HP.
Yeah, I mean that's 22 HP. It's fairly low, right? I mean that's not a solid amount of HP. I think would be fair to say.
Ooh, does find that frag on Trouble though. Gonna get another one, but no, he won't. AHB finds it, but it's gonna be instantly traded by Cinder as he does find that crisp headshot onto AHB. Snake with a smoke that hopefully will land, unlike Trouble's earlier. But anyway, gonna be seeing some difference here.
Yep, you are going to see already a little bit of a push begin to form back up over towards the old faithful, the B site. Unless the pop throat dive comes in, not to jinx myself, but no, it is going to be the B site as expected. Isaac darts out towards ramp, and nice and comfortably they get themselves in a spot where can they hold up against CeX? That is the big question. They have that positional advantage overall. Major League gets to go aggressive, finds the first pick on towards Rezu, equalizes the numbers, but Cinder going to go back at it again, dives on through, finds the snapping headshot. Isaac is going to respond nonetheless. The rifles, they get themselves engrossed in a battle, leaving us in a 1v1 long range with a pistol.
Though.
Brody, you're going to struggle with this. He's sticking the defuse, pops back off it again, the nade landing almost at his feet, 12 HP, but he has to go up close and personal, but Isaac is still going to come up trumps.
Unfortunate teams there as London Lynx find their 2nd frag. I mean, they did lose a few players. To get the bomb down as well, though. Close around there from CeX, and obviously they did force buy, unlike London Lynx in the previous game when they decided to go for the double save. And then what do you reckon about the double save?
It's a tough one, but I think that, you know, depending on the team, it has merit. And at the end of the day, arguably looking at the scoreline, it's only 0-2. When you're going for these double saves, you're basically banking on the fact that you can get yourself back into things.
Nice off angle there. Going to be finding Isaac 2 frags. Trouble as well. Pushing towards Ivy. Finds 2 for himself. Already see into a blue. Oh, that's a crisp headshot there from Isaac as he flicks up and brings Brody to his death. And now the buy comes out.
Yeah, the big thing here as well is just remember with a double save, it nets you a lot more money to play with, right? So you can get everything you pretty much want.
Well, money is utility at that point.
Yeah. Which, you know, utility on a map like Train, gotta say, it feels like one of the most important things, especially on a CT site. If you can get your utility usage on point, you're making your life so much easier to hold off spots, especially on things like the A site where Molotovs are paramount.
Early Molotovs as well, not allowing the T's to get out early for free, and actually trouble there. That's a nice angle, finds Brody C. Doesn't quite get the flick onto the second play, but does spot him out. And now LMS towards Ivy will hold the line, but it's going to be majorly throwing a smoke out here, trying to get out, but the thing is though, Cinder with the off angle onto Blue Train, when he finds 1 or 2 frags, gets 1, he's found a second hit. Forces the train, spots that player pushing, and now needs help from his teammates. Had the flash, but it's going to be Thomas there with the frag, and Snaky finds the trail onto Cinder. And now we're seeing Thomas there as well, holding off towards, but as I just said his name, he does fall. Snaky now between trains, does find that frag onto LMS, and now pushing towards Hell, trying to see if he can spot out or hear where this last player is.
Yeah, so there's going to be a bit of a search and destroy mission as Rezu gets himself backed up towards these trains, takes the peak, and a peak comes well and truly with a reward as he will be able to punish AHB, but he's still got 2 more to find, and this mission is perhaps going to come to a bit of a blunt ending. This Snaky there with the rifle, a nice one tap back on towards Rezu, albeit not quite in the first shot, but nonetheless, a tap nonetheless as his cranium will be taken down, and well, it leads us nicely into a pause, so
yep,
gotta say, 0-4 doesn't really give us a pause that we have lots to talk about, but it's momentum for London Lynx on the T side.
Which player is it that's actually dropped out? Let's take a look.
I think it's a lag issue, judging by from what I saw.
Come on, mine's completely blanked me. Who is it? Brody C. Yeah, that's Brody. Who it is. I mean, we saw there getting caught off towards Pop Dog. If you're playing Electric, you sort of have to expect there's going to be, not even someone Pop Dog, but you have to watch it. If you haven't got a teammate watching it, you have to watch it yourself.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're in a position like Pop Dog, even if you're standing just on the ladder and you're playing back and just deciding, okay, do I actually want to commit to this position, you could hear if someone's Electric. So it gives you that opportunity to actually play around there, right? I think it's right on the cusp of sound.
I don't know. If you're full out running, then yeah, but I'm not really too sure.
It depends on how much noise you make, but basically...
You got to think as well, Trouble,
yeah,
jumping down and running at Brody C of the AWP, he must have heard something.
That's what I'm basically getting at. Like, when you're making that much noise, come on, you're like the elephant in the room.
Apparently, we no longer have Brody C, and we now have Smooya.
I'm not quite sure if I want to take that seriously or not. I don't know. I feel like Smooya coming would be good.
Let's take a look.
But this is CSGO chat in a UK game. So my trust levels, gotta say, not quite up here, more pretty much down here.
Well, not too sure. He might just be lying as a joke, but apparently we are going to be seeing Smooya, and it is trained. So that does change a lot. I mean, once you're 4-0 down, you're on the eco, you're 5-0 down on your CT side. If you're CX, you might get a bit worried. Put out the wild card, get Smooya on your team, and see what you can do there.
Yeah, I mean, Smooya, I would say he's a very, very talented player. That's within itself, right? He can go into a round that open up pretty much single-handedly with the AWP. I think that certainly is something we can't doubt.
And the thing is, the way he does it as well, it's not mechanics. He hasn't got the most incredible aim. You watch his AWPing, he's always looking at the right place and the right time. And that comes down to...
I remember that actually at Epic LAN. Everyone was getting so frustrated at one of the most recent LANs because they're basically sitting there going, I can't play against this guy. He's always where I'm peeking. No matter what, even when we don't give away any information, we watch back the demos and we don't make a single sound, he's always there holding for us 24/7.
And that's just great fundamentals about the game. Positioning is so important, especially for AWPing as well. You can have the best aim in the world, but when it comes down to it, you have to have players walk into your scope, and Smooya is always in the right place at the right time. And yeah, he's actually in the server, so it wasn't a joke.
Wow, it's been said. It's certainly he is.
He's demanding cash already.
I mean, at the end of the day, Guy should get what he deserves. If he's playing the match, who knows?
Who knows?
You know what? That's between the team. We'll let them dish it out. I think, bringing things back. You were talking about, AWPer fundamentals. I can't recall who actually said this. It may have been Skoodoodle. That's the name that's at least in my head when I talk about this. But it pretty much came down to the biggest point about being an AWPer. As much as getting that shot counts, setting yourself up for the shot can sometimes be a lot more important and a lot more value to a team.
The best player for that is Guardian.
Yeah.
And the way he does it as well is uses utility between shots. I mean, I watch a lot of his demos, and especially on Mirage as well. Whenever he pushes B-apps, he's pushing, he spots a player, kills one, jumps out the window. While he's jumping out the window, pulls the flashbang, flashes apps, pulls up Molly, flashes balcony, holds the angle, gets a second kill, falls back behind Rattlesnake, that's the back left-hand side of the site, finds another frag jump as a player jumps out of balcony. All those things are so good for a player like that. I mean, if Smooya can carry that forward, especially on a map like Train.
So we thought it was Brody who DC'd, but it turns out there was another player as well, because after Brody DC'd, LSE also DC'd. So now we have Smooya and Brody, and LSE has departed, I think.
And they're asking to give him money as well. I'm not too sure what's going on, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, that just looks like a bit of a mess, to be honest. So I'm going to look, but we're going live, right? So we can see the players.
He has money. Yeah, they did give him money.
Well,
That's a Go TV bug. Yeah, it's a Go TV bug. But anyway, we're going to talk about what we can see. And that's going to be Smooya on the scout, fresh into this game. 4 rounds have already been played, so let's see what impact he can have immediately into the game.
I basically want to see how hungry he is. Is he going to this one guns blazing, looking to pretty much put everything down on the table, shut down London Lynx, or is it going to be a quiet start? There's 2 sides to the story, and only one way, as you say, to find out, as we are going to get a bit of a slow start to this. A couple of nades to be expended over towards Ivy. But for now, it's just some peeks to be taken. Smooya, very erratic with his aim, just hopping between Ivy and checking Pop Dog as well. So clearly not 100% focused on which spot he wants to hold, which multitasking is good.
Those London Lynx logos are quite nice, aren't they?
Yeah, got to give it to them, actually. Multicolored as well.
Shout out to GSR for designing those. But anyway, HB pushing forward, finds one frag onto... Oh my god, Reggie, what are you looking at? Isaac gets the third onto Brody C. HB with 2 entries there. Smooya lad with the scout towards CT trains.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a difficult one for him to make this one work. We'll have to peek on into the angle. We were expecting the push of the HP. Is going to go for it with the UMP. Finds one, looking for a second. Smooya finds the tag, but 2 HP. That's a number that doesn't quite equal 0, which therefore means it's not quite enough. Smooya, he will fall, backed up by HP, who makes himself a ton of money. And as you say, there is the AWP. So this is pretty much Smooya's prime time. Is he going to have an impact, or is it going to be London Lynx keeping them going? Because for me, I also look at this and go, you know what, London Lynx, they've got 4 rounds. Now they've got their 5th. Even with Smooya in the server, they have to basically not let that change much. They just have to keep up the momentum, keep up the feeling that they can make this one work. Because 5 rounds is 5 rounds, especially when CeX is still on 0.
5 rounds is quite hard to come back from as well. Not just the actual round difference, but if London Lynx can take this one and force CeX onto another half buy, could be looking at 7-0. And if you're on the T-side train, I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal play coming up from London Lynx so far. But anyway, Smooya's up towards green train Ivy, playing quite passive here. Wants those London Lynx players to walk into a scope, but the thing is, though, Rezu here shall be tested very, very soon as Thomas comes in for the rotate.
Going to be a couple of shots to be routed off. It is going to be that 1-for-1 trade, though, so certainly something that stacks up for this T-side in terms of getting themselves close on the side as HP just ducking and diving around that oil train, but is he going to be led to a bit of a brutal end as Thomas still going to be trying to take that fight, but AHB ever so patient, and that's just so plentiful for him because he gets to sit tight. He eventually will fall, but it opens things up now for trouble with this A to B. He finds the first. He swatted out that second player, Brody. Going to be there to hold off the angle. Brody trying to make something work with a flash here and there, but it's almost a bit of everywhere at this point. A jumble upside for the CTs as they begin to make their push. Smooya looking for the pick, will connect it towards the left side, but is it going to be enough? Isaac, he's holding the angle. He finds the headshot, looking for another run towards Cinder. Eventually, Smooya will take him down, but it's still a 1v1. Snaky, he has the Molotov. It's going to go down on towards the bomb, and any second now, Smooya, he's going to have a sudden realization of, oh god, I actually need to push him. He's going aggressive with the AWP, but the bomb is going to keep on ticking. And ladies and gents, there is no time. CeX, they're backing on away. London Lynx, they keep it going.
I mean, a 4 versus 5 retake there coming up from the CT side with no kits. That's a very, very, very big ask for CeX.
Look at that money, 15k on Snaky before the buy.
Jesus, they're really rolling in that cash. I mean, 6-0, the low buy coming out for CeX, and you've got to think as well, 7-0. I mean, we saw what happened in the last map as well, when London Lynx were actually the ones that were so far behind. I believe it was 9-1, and they somehow managed to bring it back to 10-5, but ultimately, Train is a very, very different beast and a very different map. But Smooya now with the only gun here gets the tag, though. Doesn't have the HE nade, but holding the pick slinger there, won't find too much. Throws that flashbang, and will reface.
Smooya
spots his little toe.
He's looking for this leg.
Ooh.
He spots out the hand as well, but is he going to go for it? He's being patient, and that's what Smooya knows all about. He was always telling me at LAN how it's not all about going straight away, not taking the shot when it actually counts, and that kind of highlights his point there. So certainly can see why he gets so hyped up about it as he finds the pick. Doesn't quite spot a player through the smoke, but hey-ho. We can sit tight as trouble. Trying to repeat some success over towards Ivy, but not quite getting some similar rewards as he in fact is just going to be almost put in a bit of a patience-based scenario where he has to decide, do I go aggressive or do I just pitch my tent, sit and wait yet again?
Very, very slow round coming out after Smooya finds that first frag. London Lynx, they're so paranoid and scared of Smooya as well. They don't want to walk into it. They're expecting Smooya to rotate, and he does exactly that, but it's going to be majorly finding Rezu there onto the B side, but Smooya, can he find the frags early? Will it be too late?
Should know the position of Major Lee, but he's taken the elevator fight. Great work coming out from Major Lee. Pushing up aggressive for Brody now, who goes for a bit of a push through the smoke as well, trying to go up close and aggressive, give his opposition a bit of a hug here and there with a pistol.
Oh.
But he doesn't get it done. Thomas is going to find one, but it's an auto shotgun in a 1v3 with an AWP in play on Trouble. The odds ever so stacked against his favour. This isn't a Hunger Games which you can walk away with a partner left intact. No, this is Much more of a
Never watched that.
cherry-based ending. How have you not watched that film, Stan? It's not like this, my friend. You need to get on your movie references. Ascendant at least is going to try and rattle off a couple of barrels, but it's still just not quite going to be enough. London Lynx, they keep the train going. 7-0. CeX, less than just passengers at this point. They need to get off the train and actually start doing something.
That's clean. Anyway, 7-0 for London Lynx as they are on the lead. And right now, it's going to be the double up solo coming up from the CT side. Have one AWP towards... Let's take a look. We're going to have Smooth playing green train. I imagine Thomas going towards connector. But I've been wrong before many, many times.
It's all about living and learning. You've got to take it on the chin and learn from it. As Brody is going to be the man to potentially be trapped off it. HP's already gone flying on out. Smooya, he has been ended, but Rezu on the tray. Brody with just another over towards Electric, making use of his position, but Isaac, he's going aggressive again. It's going to be a backwards and forwards journey that eventually ends in the T side, taking control. The Snaky
That's a nice shot.
The elevated angle is what's winning London Lynx these rounds at this point. They constantly get themselves up high. They bear down upon CeX and say, you know what, we are in a better spot. Cinder, though, is going to be punishing them for a bit of a mistake, but Trouble in the Tech-9 battle still comes up trumps. And God, it is going back to that elevated angle. Every single time they're taking the gunfights on top of these trains or on top of those rafters looking down on these guys.
You're on top of the train, you kill one, you fall down, have another angle where you weren't peaked from before. Try and catch your opponent off guard. But anyway, it's going to be the pause coming out. I imagine that's a tactical.
I would hope it's tactical.
I very much hope it was yeah, it is tactical. They've just said in chat. So, if you're the CT side right now, and all you got is an AWP on Smooya, he's actually bored, so we might be seeing the force bite. Well, I think we are seeing the force bite, yeah. Come up from the CT side. They need the rounds on the board. They don't want London Lynx to get 9 rounds so easily.
So, let's look at this. Let's remove all of the hype. Let's remove all of the, the emotion from the situation. Let's look at just the scoreline. 8-0. For CeX, they still have an uphill battle to bring things back, but the biggest thing for me is we talked about this pretty heavily actually in the first map, right? We talked about what was that kind of line, where would things get too far, what is the comeback potential, and we were right on the edge of our seats where we said London Lynx, they could have done it, but one crucial mistake at the end. Now, the comparison into this match is that London Lynx, they're already doing it. They're 8-0 ahead, but this is no comeback for them. This is them striking on forward.
Very different, isn't it?
For CeX, it's incredibly different, as you say, because how do they actually make something work? They've got a player like Smooya, but still, even with him, they've had more than enough rounds to actually try and make something stick with him.
Yes, rounds are important, but I feel like the biggest thing right now is the fact that, I mentioned this before, is that the London Lynx on the T side, they'll be showing, I expected to have a much stronger showing on the T side than the CT side, purely for the fact that the CT side, when they're versus, so on the CT side, it's far less more about team play and more individualistic, and you look at the names on paper, Trouble against Smooya, obviously favouring Smooya. You're looking at Cinder versus, who would you say the best riflers are on London Lynx? This is good. Yeah,
in this matchup,
should we talk about the London Lynx players?
Yeah, in this matchup, Isaac and AHB, they've been two very strong players for me, because as much as Major Lee and Snaky, they've been doing the work, every single time I see an impact frag picked up, it's from Isaac constantly trying to push to find these freak frags, really forcing the hand of CeX to bring the tide back to London Lynx's favour. AHB as well, you always see him trying to be the man that starts the show.
I feel like missing out Snaky. I think Snaky, especially in the last map as well, for me, was the standout player. Even though he lost 16-10, I feel like Snaky was always getting those impactful frags.
I think at the end of the day, when we're debating who's the most impactful player, when you look at all of these players and we have what certainly feels like justifiable reasons to pinch any of these players we want on the pedestal and say they're the guys that make an impact, that really highlights a strong team overall, more than anything.
Yeah, they're definitely showing it right now, 8-0.
The disappointing side, not to crush the current hype train of London Lynx, is that doesn't really change much in the season for them.
Do you know what? I was about to say that. Their one, not win, draw, was on train versus UFrag. Potentially their second, not win, but draw, could be versus CeX on train again. Do you want to call them a one-trick wonder and a one-map
There is the point that if they do draw this, and then we come to a point where XL can make it work, or ZenX, sorry, can make it work tomorrow, if they knock CeX out of playoffs, in my books, that's a huge win for them. So that's what they could be playing for. I think the points there is certainly a possibility.
I think it would have to be 1-1 and then ZenX 2-0 UFrag.
You know what, Mass GCCs, they're so overrated. So let's drop them aside. Someone else can go to school and work that one out. John,
you cares about mid maths when you got Counter Strike right in front of you. Anyway, could be Trouble there finding the first frag onto Brody C and Smooya holding that AWP angle. He does take down Trouble. The 1-for-1 trades there, favoring potentially the T's there. As obviously once the round unfolds and they spread out, it's going to be the 1v1s and the 1v2s. Going around the side there. I mean, you might have Rezu playing solo B, and he's going to be facing potentially 3 of the T players.
There's no presence towards Ivy at all from the CT side. The only man to finally go for that 180 and turn and look is Thomas. That smoke is just going to be dropped on down yet again. He's got his work cut out for the flash is going to go off. He's left completely dazed and confused, a deer in headlights. No. Smooya gonna miss the shot. That was so impactful. He misses the second shot. Smooya, where are you? We hyped you up and you are non-existent. Cinder finally gonna open things up. Smooya will find that eventual pick on the third shot, but is it gonna be enough now? Trying to do just even more than Molotov. Gonna force him back out of position. Has to go on back and rotate. Spots out Snaky. This time breathes a second. Then eventually is gonna be able to take it. And Rezu finally gonna mop things up. So looking horrendously rough. They do get away with it in the end as Smooya will find the triple kill.
I mean, I mentioned before, it's not the mechanical skill that highlights him, it's the fact that there's always players, it seems like, he might not hit every single shot, but he has so many more opportunities to hit that shot than any other AWP I've seen.
It just felt very contradictory.
I mean, if you whiff 2 shots like that, and you still have, how many shots do you take that round? I mean, just in that moment alone.
Like 5?
5 or 6, and they're all different angles as players walk into a scope. I mean, that's so...
I mean, as much as he didn't hit the first shots, I can see what you're getting. He got a triple kill.
You got to think about another trouble. What would trouble do in that situation generically? Instead of just holding for that rephrase and changing his position, you probably just re-peek into it. Do you see what I mean? And go for that fancy flick fast shot. I mean, me personally, I'll do the same. Yeah,
for sure. I can see what you're getting at. It certainly feels like, you know, I almost expect Smooya to be hitting those shots.
I mean, enough about Smooya as well. We've got to talk about Cinder in that position as well. Finding those 2 frags, and especially the last frag as well.
They're a dynamic duo, really, in this match.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about players on the London Lynx, I wanted to talk about CeX before the pause unfolded. But anyway.
We have some time now.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Brody C's DC'd again. Players on CeX.
Let's go. CeX.
Smooya, then Cinder, then Thomas, then Rezu, then Brody C, in my opinion.
Okay. What is your... lead me through this. What is your understanding behind this? Like, why, especially in the context of this matchup, where does that all stand?
Right, Smooya, I'm not going to talk about that one too much. We've spoken about him enough this game. Cinder, very, very strong fundamentals as well. He has very good spray control, actually. Whenever I've watched him play, it feels like his sprays are always so consistent, and that's what you need. Especially, you look at players like Get Right. Rain is another one. Great players with those rifles and those sprays. Usually brings consistency. Push the backbone of CeX. You've got the wild card, the 50-50 presence from Smooya going off and whatnot, but then you've also got the backbone security from Cinder. But anyway, enough about CeX, and going into this round, got London Lynx playing fast, changing up for the pause, but Thomas is above the train, doesn't even get spotted. Cinder finds another frag as well. It's already a two-man lead for CeX.
And I see he's risen from the dead, and he's having an impact. Finds himself that first pick. Thomas and Smooya, they light things up with picks of their own. Isaac will find 2 for his troubles, but it's not quite going to lead to too much. It's still going to be
14K.
Ironically, that second round for CeX, and has to be said, something we didn't quite call out at the start of the round, but we did certainly notice.
Wait, so Brody C's gone.
This is the last sub they can make as well. So
is it only 3 per map?
I think, yeah, something along those lines. So we definitely saw it confirmed by John as well. So they cannot make any more changes to their lineup. So it is this is their final 5 locked in unless they just play 4. What can LSD bring that Brody maybe couldn't? Is there any change up here? Or is it just
I would say Liam S. Actually, enough about that talk. Smooya that finding that crisp edge onto Major Lee. 1-man lead already for CeX, but talk about that point. I'd say aim-wise, skill-wise, Brody C's definitely in the lead there, but Liam S, potentially a more fundamentally sound player in terms of utility usage, maybe positioning, even communication. I mean, those things are so important. We never played with a guy, but it's just, you know, assuming things. Anyway, Isaac there gets the frag onto Liam S. Spoke about him being fundamentally sound. He throws his frag away for nothing. Isaac finds a second. Smooya now needs to find these players fast. Good position there behind that side train. Thomas though towards Ivy finds one with Snaky. Trying to spray and get another one with Smooya. Helps him out and finds that frag, and now spraying another player down towards Electric. Gets the 3rd frag from this round. It's going to be trouble with the AWP now. What can he do? Doesn't actually quite connect that shot to Smooya. Only 37 HP. Trouble though doesn't hit the flick again. He's whiffing too much here. He needs to find these frags. And the rephase comes in and he doesn't connect the shot again. Connects it but through the wall.
It's almost that same boat in the last round that I was talking about Smooya. It's just shots that I really expect Trouble to be hitting there. Just needed to make something happen. Unfortunately struggled, and yet again, another pause. Certainly disheartening in the way we are kind of stuck in these back-to-back pauses, but it does give me an opportunity to dive into another point actually, which is that for London Lynx, they pretty much got themselves in this rut of back-to-back rounds.
Yep.
They did that on the basis of they got used to how CeX were playing. They got used to their tendencies. They were taking advantage of where they were standing. So
I'm reading chat right now. Apparently there's a problem with the buy, and money over burn, basically an issue because there's been so many subs in, so many subs out. Obviously, Brody C spawns in, he has an M4 in his hand, he disconnects, and that spawns in a gun. That leaves the gun there. And obviously, you can't pick that up because it's money that shouldn't be there. But anyway, There will be a gun left on the floor. Don't panic too much.
As I was diving into the London Lynx, basically, the TLDR of it is they learn how to play against a team that has now had those two careful players thrown in, and we are starting to see that take some sort of shape, perhaps. At least they don't quite know the positions that are being held, and they're being caught by Smooth's unpredictability. He gets away unscathed, goes for the spray down,
No way.
and drops them all dead.
Loves the ecos, loves the stats. Can he get the 4K for this round? Actually, no. That's a nice shot there for Trouble. Can he get the second? No, he can't. Smooth dies unnecessarily, but already gets 3 frags, so fair play to him. He's had a 3K a few times. 13-4. He's been in for 4 rounds. He's on 13 kills. Fair play to the lad.
For a guy we were going, you know what, he needs to hit those shots. At the end of the day, yeah, it still comes back to that point. At the end of the day, he's still being...
3 of those rounds were 4 buys as well, so...
Yeah,
the impact already been shown from Smooth. He's got the AWP now as well. What can he do with this weapon? Seen strong players for him already. Can he carry it forward into this round? The buy though as well.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, pressure, but enough of that. It's going to be the AWP onto Trouble as well. 1 AWP apiece on both sides, which is going to be more important. And right now it's Smooth as he finds that frag onto AHB. Flashes and jump across, but the problem is he's got to jump on the railing so you're higher above the scope there. Fortunately for him, he will fall. Easy flick there. And the 1-man lead already for CEX. This is Trouble trying to get a frag here, but this is quite risky. I say risky, but finds the frag onto Rezu. Now Major Lee as well pushing towards B. The bomb is still in T-spawn, so 4 versus 4. London Lynx with 1 minute on the clock. They have ages to work with. And it's going to allow the CTs to spread out. And once the CTs are spread out, they're going to take the 1 versus 1s.
You talk about this 1v1s. Thomas is there, ready and waiting. Hands dead set, ready to go. And he's going to take down Major Lee with fair ease at this point. London Lynx being handed a 1-man disadvantage.
Oh, you can't with those.
Yeah, just more shots uncomfortably, straying into a bit of a different direction for Trouble. Not quite the original plan either. Now the disadvantage is rapidly beginning to sway out of control. It's going to be a 2-man stack. And Flash is going to go dead set into direction. Smooya going to be there ready and waiting. Finds the shot with the AWP, and Cinder going to wrap in from behind, and they claim them.
He shouldn't have got away with that.
Pretty much almost certain death, and, well, you say it all, really.
He's jumping with a flashbang. He's being spread out and he stays alive. I mean, fair play. 5-8 now. Only 3-round difference, and London Lynx, they haven't got a round since this pause has come out.
Yeah, I think the slew of pauses really has hit them hard.
Oh yeah, the momentum has completely shut down for London Lynx as...
Such a shame, though. It's gotta
yeah,
be
I mean, they were looking really, really hot, and unfortunately, Smooth's brought the ice.
Yeah, they just cooled down a good chunk now, and...
What is...
that right there, being frozen, ready to hit the funeral deck. Snaky will find one with the Tech 9, but is there a light at the end of the tunnel at this point? Snaky going to be there to almost read off their last right somewhat as he tries to take towards Pop Dog, gets the first pick, looking for the second. Rezu,
imagine.
Life will be claimed, looking for the third on towards Thomas. 6 HP is the number to be called. He picks up the AWP, but we're getting excited, but do we really have a justifiable reason just yet? As it is going to be 1 minute 5 on the clock. Snaky has a good chunk of time to play with, but the bomb is still going to be trapped in that block of the A site, and he has to go for that Persian. Well, players, they may be streaming at him, just die, just fall over. Just let it happen, Snaky.
Yeah, in chat, CX players already typing, just die. Just get it over with.
At the end of the day,
fair.
He's still standing. He might be 1 HP, but...
1 kill, that's $4,000, $5,000 of investment. This Smoke Dove Connector expects something. Can he time Liam S off guard? He has the AWP, so he might do something. Has a pistol in his hand. They know that Snaky's very, very low. He's actually 1 HP here.
Yeah, we know just how low he is, but he's going to go for the push with the Tech 9. The shots are being missed on both sides
here.
Oh my god, who's going to come up? How is this happening? Thomas
is low as well. Could you imagine?
Going to end it, but that was a round where we always reference light at the end of the tunnel. I've never heard a caster actually say light at the end of the tunnel in a positive connotation. But that right there, that was an actually chanceable round. That could have been
only because players walked into...
I mean, just because players are being a little bit stupid, the point still stands.
Yeah, we've got to take it as it comes to us, and it is 6 rounds already on the board.
Trouble. Could be trying to go a bit aggressive towards Ivy, but Smooya going to be matching him in this, but Trouble is going to win the battle, albeit taking a lot of damage from his teammate right up the behind, but nonetheless, it is still going to be a win for them. Up until Thomas sprays them back down through the smoke as well. So much damage being inflicted. Doesn't quite net the frag, but Rezu also going aggressive over towards the B site, really forces London Lynx back, and Rezu just not quite wanting to stop. He's more than happy just to hold that W. Thomas is going to find one of his own, and Snaky gets an uncomfortable right in front as he just sees his teammate fall. At least he punishes LSC, but that is just a silver lining at this point. As look at Cinder, does a 180, gets a frag, now looking to perhaps even swivel back around, ends Trouble's life, and from an 8-0 lead, CeX, they bring back 7 rounds.
God, I'm shaking my head right now.
Look at that scoreboard. That's not something you see every day.
8 rounds in favor of the T's, and then 7 in favor. But anyway, out of context of what we just saw there, look at those numbers. 8 rounds on this T side of train. Very, very well played from London Lynx. But the problem was, I mentioned before, that they might have trouble on their CT side. And if this goes 1-1 in favor of Pistols, imagine if it goes 10-8 in favor of CeX.
There's also got to be that point that as much as we were pretty judgmental on players like Smooya and such if they were already waking up at the start, now they've had time to actually warm up, find their grip, get themselves comfortable. The T-side is time for them to really open things up. Smooya is a player that will try and go huge. He tries to add flair with the Eagles. Whether we agree with it or not.
Work out. That's the thing as well. Which player that's forfeited the armor? It was Rezu. So
it's a double-edged sword at the end of the day. It can either work or it can fail horrendously.
Yeah, Liam forfeiting his armor so that Smooya could have the deagle there, but unfortunately for him, nothing happens towards A and outer, but trouble there. Smokes up. I actually like this because the players have to walk into him, but anyway, Major Lee spamming that USP and finds the frag, but trouble falls as Rezu does take that frag, and Liam now jumping down, falls to his death. That's going to be a suicide. Thomas, though, on site, trying to find these frags. The 3 versus 3, and the CTs are close. The bomb isn't down. Ooh, that's a crispy shot there from Snaky.
Smooya. Talked about that deagle. We pretty much said that this could be the be all and all of this round in terms of investment. Wasn't quite able to do anything at the start, but can he pull off 3 back-to-back shots? Big ask. Certainly a big question in itself, but is he going to be able to get away with it? Takes the peek, finds the first, now looking for a second. Spamming on away, not quite able to connect it, but he has some HP to play with. Is now going to be looking for that bomb, and Snaky isn't going to catch him out. He's now still standing, diving back up towards the B site, and he's actually being allowed to sprint over towards Pop Block and get himself towards A. And on the Lynx, they're sitting tight. They're not quite rotating. Eventually going to find themselves to read. But this is enough for Smooya just to set himself up with the right angle and actually get these 1v1s, which, considering the angle we're seeing, this could actually work. But Snaky, down to the wire, bear in mind, as he did get tagged, is still going to find the headshot.
Yeah, Smooya quite doesn't finish out there. 1 versus 3 doesn't go in his favor and it does fall. So 9-7 right now. And actually the pistol, both pistols going in favor of London Lynx. We saw early momentum in the half going in favor of London Lynx. Can they keep this going now? And if they get 8 more rounds, all they need is 7 and they'll take this.
Basic maths right there, certainly setting out the equation, but again, it's very easy to say, but seemingly a much harder task to accomplish. So we're going to find himself met in, well, a fairly solid reward, a nade to the face. So I'm not going to be too pleased about that one, but nonetheless, damage to be inflicted across Thomas as well. So not a solid start for CeX. Of course, we know they're on the back foot when it comes down to early momentum in the second half. But now a very, very big but. Anything could happen in terms of these close angles being played. If CeX can get themselves the advantage, especially with a dink like that on towards AHB, we could see a complete different racehorse in this round, but certainly the inception of speed being a factor for CeX as well, especially with those pistols.
Yeah, those pistols, if they walk into the SMGs of London Lynx, then they're going to be very happy because they might be able to stack up that cash, and that's what's most important for your CT side. Have the money good, have the utility. Smooya gets a nice hedge on the Snaky, but not too much else to come out of it. Just, yep, pushing forward, drops the pistol, trying to make it as if he has a flashbang. But anyway, it's going to be Major Leaf on the frag onto Cinder. But actually 2 frags there for Liam with that P250. Isaac, though, this angle onto sight is going to be so strong as his players have to walk out of Ivy.
Especially if the slash gets timed perfectly. And well, it actually gives an opportunity for them to...
He sees the hand, surely you saw that.
Huh. Perhaps the Zenix blindfolds coming back into action from last week, it seems.
When that happened, what can I say?
I mean, it was certainly a
Inside
special joke. I'm sure hopefully the guys at home get it. As for now, this is going to be the peak coming out, but a 1-for-1 trade nonetheless, which pits CeX with an advantage. A clear-cut one out there as trouble. It's going to be over towards that long-range spot. Going to be peeking down into what is effectively that A3 train. But is he going to get away with it? Is he still just going to be holding the angle now, looking towards red? Going to vary it between colours and numbers because, you know, we've got to please everyone. That bomb is going to be ticking ever so faintly away, but there is going to come a point where it begins to up the pace, up the tempo, and that's where Trouble's blood begins to start pumping now at this point as he knows he has to get a move on. The jig is well and truly up. He's going for the push, looking for the shots, taps down Smooya, finds the frag, now looking for Thomas, and Thomas presents his head on a nice and, well, ever so golden platter.
He does exactly that.
Trouble. It's going to be a long defuse, but it's a defuse nonetheless.
Presents his face, and Trouble just completely demolishes it. Disaster there in that 2 versus 1 for CeX as they don't quite play for each other. They just face individually and they both fall. I mean, if Smooya in that position towards Electric, just wait till Thomas is engaging. I mean, he tried to do that before, but he peaked a hair of a second too fast, and that caused it to be 2 1 versus 1s. And the HP advantage being in such a strong favour of the CTs there, he does win that. But anyway, 7-10, and the buy coming out from CeX. What can they make of this now? AK does get taken out of the hands of Smooya as Snaky finds that first frag, and in my eyes, Snake was the best rifler, and it's definitely showing as he's found some early frags here. Some very important frags, and Isaac gets the second. And the third as well. 2 frags there for Isaac. Can he get any more?
Well, this is the Isaac I was talking about. We both had our points, and both players really opening up for us in this round. So, hey ho, we have our own little chance to sing. It's just going to be Cinder and LC. He's going to get shot down through the smoke to just a mere 15 HP. HP going to drop down a defensive Molotov, but they're almost lining up for him. He nearly found them both. Isn't quite going to come into fruition, but then the peek from Isaac towards Popdog is enough to seal the deal. 11-7 is going to be the scoreline. A string of rounds back to back right from the get-go for the CT side. You said this was their weak spot, but momentum clearly being on the upside for them.
Yeah, I mean, Smee is trying to make a play. When does he not try and do that? The problem is when you're a playmaker, it isn't always the most consistent play. And you saw there, no flashbang, nothing, openly faces, and Snaky wins that duel and spaces down. And first round, buy round going in favour of London Lynx. And both pistols as well. So right now, 4-round lead. Leading into these next few gun rounds. You have to do something different from CeX. Actually, this is quite smart. Fake going out. Will it sell London Lynx?
I didn't seem to be rotating. If anything, Major Lee's getting himself set up to hold off a brute force push, and this crossfire could actually be pretty damn comfortable for them, providing they can make it work. And Molotov going to go down up towards upper, forcing a pretty much funnel to come on out, and they're going to be ready and waiting. Smooya is going to find one, but Major Lee up towards the elevator angle. He's doing his job. Smooya trying to trade things back with the Glock and eventually gets away with it, but he's bought enough time potentially for his teammates. But no, they're missing the shots, boys. Where are you at this point? LSE now there to hold the angle with the rifle, and bit by bit, CeX, they're taking a round that shouldn't have been in contention at all because the push was there, to making it even possible at this point. If Smooya still pushing, Glock in hand, but he's still getting away with it. LSE going to hold the crossfire. Everything we said that was positive for the CT side is swinging towards the CTs at this, or the T should we say, as AHB going to be left in a 1v1, pushes up around the train, and he will close it out off the back of a double kill towards the end. But everything, as I was trying to get into before making a mess, was that everything we pretty much said, okay, this is London Lynx, what they're doing well. CeX, they took it all away from them and did it their own way.
I mean, you have such strong utility on the CT side, but Trouble opts to play close. Why is he playing B when he's the AWPer?
Questions to be raised, and gonna be honest, don't quite have the answer towards you there. It's gonna be, that's very much one that sits with the team and how they want to play their composition.
And talking about composition as well, 2 AWPs for the CT side. Gonna be seeing some early aggression. Why are you playing aggressive when you've got 2 AWPs? Just allow the AWPs to get the picks. Don't give away early frags. Where is Thomas looking? Thankfully though, Cinder's on the ball and he finds Major Lee. I mentioned seconds ago, why would you push when you have 2 AWPs? The idea of playing the AWPs is you play slow, allow the AWPs to get picks, and win with the man advantage that way. Instead, though, I'm going to try and get aggressive, but it's going to be Snaky finding Smee. That's what you want to see.
That could have been so different. I can't quite almost get that flashing image out of my head. Things could have taken a bit of a turn for the worse. The Trouble is still going to be shoulder peeking that one.
Oh, the one way. With an AWP?
A different way to approach it, but it is going to go out, and he's holding the angle, and he gets the pick on towards Thomas. You judged him. Well, he gives you a delightful surprise, gets away with it. Cinder going to be up towards heaven, will try and catch him off guard, but is he even going to be clocking onto it? Isaac is going to be there to hold the angle, just tagging him down somewhat, making him go, you know what, you can't quite peek this comfortably, you should be feeling nervous as you take this battle. And a smoke and Molotov is going to be forced out towards the site, looking to clear off the close angle, and the peek is going to roll on in, punishes him towards Trouble. Is he going to push on right through though? That's the question. He is.
No!
He gets away with it.
Snaky though, on side with the AWP. We haven't seen him with it yet, but he does find that frag onto Cinder. Can he get second? No, he can't because Rezi trades it. But he's standing in the molly!
1 HP!
Oh
1 HP, so low at this point. LSE, he gets up towards 7. AHB is going to push on around. The bomb has found its way down, of course, but all AHB do has the tab to set in the middle. He does for the shot. And it leaves us a 1v1.
Here's a molly on. LMS has the molly.
It's not even in the right place. He could have stuck it, but he's going to be holding the angle.
He's on the molly!
Going to miss the shot. He's now in it. The Molotov has spread.
Oh my god, he's so close to the molly, 20 HP. Jumps up on the ladder now, Willie. What's he doing?
He made a mess of jumping on the ladder there, suffice to say. He can't quite jump. He's going to be chasing LSE at this point, looking to take the fight to him. We'll find it.
Don't jump and die.
Not like this, HP. No.
Oh. Eventful. Very eventful.
That's a different round.
No way.
Yeah, providing he made the jump, he had that. But that is... Wow, that's one of those rounds again where I wish we had like a opportunity just to sit down and look at a replay and just dig through in slow motion what went on, because that was hectic.
Wow, I mean, they do love those mollies. You talk about Hunger Games earlier. I mean, playing with fire is definitely something that's happened in that previous round. I mean, he was running so close to that molly. Imagine if you just had one slip up, like the slip up he had on ladder.
I mean, one slip up, 1 HP, they correlate quite nicely together.
Resu and was it Snaky there?
I think so.
Jesus.
Oh, it was all a bit of a blur, to be honest.
And
So
the spray as
fast-paced.
well from Cinder jumping down as well.
It's all coming back to you bit by bit
Oh
as you
my
relive
goodness.
it in your head.
Let's forget about that round.
You are seeing some aggression towards Ivy. That's an upside, at least.
Yeah, and now they're still here though. You've pushed Ivy. Go towards B. Oh no, this isn't looking too good. I mean, if the push comes out now from the T's, but they're getting quite cold feet here. As they're opting to not push yet. Smear trying to get the first frag, but doesn't quite land the kill, but does connect the damage.
Gotta feel bad for Smooth in that scenario. He gets all the movement on point and then gets blocked by his teammate mid B hop.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, one of those moments. Molotov is going to go down preemptively towards lower, just holding off any sort of quick and aggressive B push and almost trying to buy some time. But you have to remember, this time there is no crossfire setup for the CT side. It's all onto one man. Majorly got a lot on towards his shoulders, and Smooth are going to be there with the AWP trying to catch him off guard as we are starting to see the rotate, but that's right into Smooth's hands. Just multiple right putty as Rezu now going to take full control of those early trains, pushing on around Majorly, next on the chopping block. And Snaky, well, he's in the back lines towards those trains, but you got to ask the question, is it even going to be possible?
Talking about backlines, though, you've got trouble on the flank. But he's gone AWP, and he's going through the white halls. Well enough about that. Thomas there finds one. Trouble now in white halls.
He's too slow.
It's not just that, but this isn't where you wrote it with an AWP.
Yeah, he's backing off, like, certainly for a very positive reason as well. He knows he had no time. He's going to face his back over towards Connector.
Oh my.
He's potentially even going to lose his life. The Molotov
don't
to make a
die.
mess of things. Nearly burns in his own flames off the back of a mess up with the Molotov. Spur of the moment one at that, but he find the frag. That's at least the upside to the edge of that one.
You double push Ivy, right?
Yeah.
You double push Ivy. You know there's no one Ivy. And what does that mean? Either they're all stacked up towards Pop Dog and main, you rotate off because you're expecting Execute to come in. See nothing Ivy, you expect something towards B because none of those players are there, which means if there's no backstab, if you're on the T side, you want to go Ivy so you can backstab the A side. If there's no one on the T side Ivy, and they don't want to do the backstab to A, they're potentially going towards B. That's where you leave a rifle there.
I have to cut you off because it's back with the aggression again. The CT side just going up close and personal. They're playing around the smoke. Thomas, he's going to pre-fire it. The flash is almost going to be put down. It's going to be laid there dead open, but it's not quite going to get too much done. Majorly, he's going to re-smoke himself. What is this round, Major? How are you getting away with this? He's still standing. The smoke eventually is going to fade, but he could go huge. He's going for the first. He's got a player on his head, but he's still standing, and he gets away with it. He's running back towards the site. Snods, what on earth am I watching?
I mean, he's just drive-by'd him there, hasn't he?
He's just gone and done it.
Fair play to the lad. Thomas falls. Early frag there from Major Lee. Resu lining up that smoke. Snaky boost from Connect. This is good. When the smokes land, he will not be smoked off unless the smoke comes up onto site, but I doubt it. But anyway, the frag comes in. Almost a collateral, but Isaac there spamming that SMG, and the UMP will hit him that frag, and Cinder falls 2 versus 5.
And the crossfire still just so plentiful, they don't even realize it. Smooya goes to the shot, isn't quite able to connect, and from there he's going to be taken down, and all I've got to say is, you know what, London Lynx?
Fair play.
Yeah, you can have that.
Yeah, you can
take that. You know, that's one of those rounds where you can just take that, because the start, it was something else. The middle round, the crossfires. Did he actually have a player
on his head?
He actually had a player on his head. The railing was being held, they shifted left and right, and he was either on his head or just to the right on top of that railing, but they were effectively dead set on top of each other. We saw those legs. A weird and wacky way to start the round. The beautiful crossfire towards the end. Aggression again coming out from trouble. They're tempting fate. Surely this is going to go wrong. The Molotov is going to fall. But the fire of the flames, it's going to be enough. The smoke will extinguish them. But Cinder, he doesn't quite want to go for the quick-ass refrag just yet. Instead, he's going to be patient, and they're going to just walk into the crossfire. Snaky Cinder eventually going to push on out, but he is the last man remaining. London Lynx, surely at this point they're about to get onto their 15th. As Cinder, he is the last man. He's in a 1v4. He's in a Tech 9. Now, he may have been one hell of a prospect in the first map, and he may well be in this one as well. But those odds are never going to be in his favor. He will be in.
That's a tilt call, that is. I mean,
look at their money.
Not even a tilt call. The call is they're playing close to smoke B, flash the smoke, and push B that way. Push the ramp. Problem is, though, London Lynx, they fall back, they hear the steps. That's crucial. You need to walk up and then underhand through the smoke without making any sound, because otherwise it gives away your idea. They fall back, they drop the molly, and CEX, they just run into the death.
Snaky, he'll already be taking that early peek. A lot relying on Smooya with the scout to find those tags and make the job of these pistols just that little easier. As AHB going to be there. Just a shoulder peek, this one. Doesn't quite get the information that someone has crossed off the back of that utilage of that frag grenade and will actually have one dropped at his feet. Doesn't quite get to do too much damage. Now he's pushing up close and personal.
flash,
Almost going to
though.
realize it. He finds the first, goes for the second. Cinder will punish off the back of that missing flash, as you mentioned. So certainly points beginning to all fold on up. But look at the position being held from
didn't see
Snaky.
him.
Very informative. Maybe in the right portion of a scope, not quite sure. X-Ray maybe playing a part in that from our point of view, but certainly raises an eyebrow nonetheless, as the aggression up towards A main could almost certainly play a part in itself, as so much could be done. Snaky, he lands the shot. Isaac, look at his position. He could stop this push before it even begins. He finds the first. Shots down Julia, looking for the third.
Oh,
Rezu
so
is the
close.
last man remaining. GG's already being called, as Rezu, 19 HP, a 1v3, 45 seconds or so on the clock. Is it possible?
No.
That's been said. Let it play. Let's let it happen.
Told you. Anyway, 16-8. I mean, strong showing their London Lynx on their T side and their CT side. 8 rounds in a row.